everyone, welcome to Tabletop Escapades. We have a little bit of a different show for you today. We've been so busy with PSX, Game of the Year Awards, so many things going on, that unfortunately we have not yet been able to get together and record a full batch of Tabletop Escapades. We're going to do that this weekend, so get ready. A whole nother month's worth of Tabletop Escapades is coming. So to fill in, anime filler here.
This is totally
definition of filler. Anime filler. We're going to do a recap episode for Tabletop Escapades. All the time I get messages from various things, people saying they don't know what's going on or they're too intimidated to jump into the show. This will quickly get you caught up on the story. Yeah, we don't know either. So this will help us as much as it'll help you.
Ben, there's actually a Naruto episode where they go into a room and they say, "Tell us the status of the battle."
Yes.
And he goes, "Okay, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened."
Oh my.
This is that Naruto episode. That was my primary inspiration.
At least it's not a clip show.
What do you mean?
Like, at least we're not showing actual clips.
No, we're going through it. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it fireside chat. It's going to have that Tabletop Escapades flavor. I'm going to have everybody introduce their characters to start us off. But before we do that, I have a big special thanks. The notes that I'm using were derived from NeoGAF user Labyrinthine Rebel, who was kind enough to type up a multi-page summary of everything that's been going on Tabletop Escapades. Wow. So I am definitely cribbing him from him or her. Thank you very much for that work. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Let's introduce the cast of characters, the thing that makes the show special. We're going to start there right next to me, Bradley Ellis.
I'll do RP.
Who do you play? Yeah.
My character name is Nikita. World famous thief, kind of a klutz. Ooh. But I got big dreams, and I'm willing to do anything to make them happen.
Well done.
So Brad's really developed that character.
Yeah. Brad's grown a lot.
Compare that to episode 1.
Yeah, very much. That's Brad... Good. We're all very proud of you.
Yay!
Ian Hink, what is your character?
My name is Therese Brightwood. I'm an elf warlock, but I was raised by humans. I'm only 28. When I was a child, my researcher human parents were doing a lot of research. I snuck in and was looking at their research, and then something happened. I blacked out, saw strange, horrible things, and when I came to, everyone was dead. But just recently, I saw a creature that looked sort of like something I saw back then, so maybe it wasn't all my fault. Who knows?
Torture Therese.
Torture Therese.
Punish Therese.
Punish Therese. Michael Huber, I'm going to have a special request of you. You're the only member on the couch that's actually been through two characters, so if you could briefly describe both.
My first character was Law. He was the law. Originally, he was framed for the murder of Prince Ragnar, and he traveled around and tried to distill peace among places and try to find the good in people, to a fault, I would say. And during a huge battle, he just wanted to see the Baron. So he stayed behind.
Whoa, don't skip ahead.
He's a dwarf.
He's a dwarf.
Yeah,
he's a dwarf
monk from China.
Yeah,
from China.
We're gonna get into some of this.
Yeah,
never mind.
Don't do story. Just
things didn't work out for Law, and then my second character is Pomper. Pomper is a dragonborn cleric, and he's very, very young. He's 15 years old. And he doesn't really know much about the world.
Sounds like Obama.
Yeah, and Obama Pomper. And he's just trying to close a portal or seal away a demonic entity that he keeps having visions of.
Oh,
excellent.
That's the backstory?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that demonic entity?
Nosgoth.
He has actually said this before, not making it up on the spot.
I knew that.
Yeah. Last but certainly not least, we have Kyle Bossman.
My character is Yogala Satarius. He's a human street wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up on the streets, learned magic by just reading one old novel over and over for his entire... Sorry, magic book.
Yeah.
For his entire life, barely understands the entirety of it, but has kind of gotten the grasp of a few pages. Lives in the sewers.
The wind and the willows.
I do want to ask you quickly about the cat that you have the deepest attachment to.
Zizi. Yogala is known as... he likes to do cat races. He makes some money doing that. Normally, some sort of trickery. involved with the cat races. It's hard to win them regularly. Consistently, it's hard to win a cat race, so you kind of have to use whatever advantage you can.
Cat races is a sight to behold. Before we get into the summary here, the one quick thing I want to say, we're actually not doing... when we did Tabletop Adventures, we also did a recap. We had a bunch of glorious fan art to go along with the video, and it was wonderful. But I actually want to give people a chance, because we just kind of did that. I want to give people a chance. We're going to do a whole separate fan art video that we're going to compile and kind of show off you guys. Because you guys have done... seriously, really incredible fan art, and I don't want anybody to miss that opportunity. So if you have ever drawn something for Tabletop Escapades, if you have ideas and you want to draw something for Tabletop Escapades, please, I'm going to compile these all in one spot, so send them to this email address, askeasyallies@gmail.com. I'll say that again at the end of the recap. All right, so to go in very, very brief summary, keep in mind, Cliff Notes version, I don't want to overwhelm new viewers, but the world that you guys are in is the world of Esserim, okay? And the important thing to remember about the history of Esserim is there are two continents. So there's the place where you guys are, and then there's also Bulwark, okay? And Bulwark is where the Nightingales come from. They're a multiracial group that invaded from across the Sea of Flames. The reason it's called the Sea of Flames is the green and red dragons used to rule the world. Okay, so they were sort of the all-powerful creatures, and other races came into being. Green dragons didn't care about them. Green dragons just kind of thought they were above other races and liked to be secluded, didn't want any conflict, just wanted to be left alone. Red dragons enslaved everyone and became overlords. And eventually they started encroaching on Green Dragon territory. That caused the war. They lit the sea on fire between the two continents. That is why it is called the Sea of Flames. But your adventure starts with a resistance group. And your resistance group, you start... You started in a forest. Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
All the way back?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember some things for sure.
Those assassins?
Yep.
I'm trying to catch arrows.
And you start in a cart with a man named Lars.
Oh, Lars.
What did Lars have?
Grain.
Much grain.
We didn't know. I don't think we knew this at this point.
I was just telling him it was all his fault in his mind over and over again. For
Yep.
no real reason other than just because I was depressed, so I wanted him to be depressed. And then he got shot through the face.
Yeah, Lars didn't make it very long. He did get you
And
guys
then
were,
we found out that he had
Then
grain.
we found out he
then
had
you found out
grain.
that he had grain.
For
And
some reason we latched onto.
Grain.
I don't believe you guys ever fully connected the grain with the story.
No, we left that behind.
Someone was like shipping it.
Yes.
It was like nefarious, like, but it wasn't mystical. It was like someone was sending supplies to the Nightingales or to a rebel group or something.
Can I reveal what happened to Lars very quickly?
Yeah.
All right,
But before you do, the best part is sometimes Ben will say something a certain way, and I may or may not read it correctly or incorrectly. So I think when you mentioned the grain, you said it in a way to where I was like, that grain, super important.
You started stuffing it in your
Hubert
injuries.
thought it was like mystical grain,
And
And it was just to be clear, Lars had grain. He's like,
and we were all like,
whoa.
The grain ended up being it was meant to just be a one episode thing. It ended up going for several arcs. It was used in ways that injured you and the people around you. Yeah, so grain is a thing. It was very important. But the story behind Lars is he was actually working for the Nightingales, and his goal was to basically be a double agent.
Oh.
so it was all his
Could
fault.
we have saved Lars, or was he dead regardless?
You could have saved Lars. It would have been very difficult to do. But if you'd saved Lars, you actually would have gotten this information out of him and gone a totally different direction. But the Nightingales, now that they had a bead on you and on Virion, who actually sent you on this mission in the first place, and you're working for his rebellious organization. He was actually accidentally killed.
Oh.
So
Lars?
So the Nightingales were actually trying to kill you, Therese.
Oh yeah.
So
Whoops.
Yeah, that was going on. Lars was a double agent. Anyway, when you get through the cave, you find a bunch of kobolds. Do you guys remember this? The kobold lair?
Yeah,
and the kobolds were actually being experimented on
Oh, right, yeah.
by the nightingales.
Yes.
And you find some crucial information here. Do you remember the black goo?
Yeah.
Can you quickly tell me about the black goo?
I remember I stuck my dagger into one pile of black goo, and it, like, kind of, like, not ate the dagger, but, like, kind of, like, sucked it in and dissolved it or whatever.
Yep.
Seemed like bad news.
It burns.
Lost a dagger.
Black goo burns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay away from it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's what the nightingales, what happens to the nightingales when they die. They turn into this goo.
Right. So the nightingales were actually experimenting on the kobolds to this black goo is a type of necromancy. And there are warlocks within the Nightingale Order that are sort of at the top of the Nightingale Order. And what they do is all of sort of the foot soldiers, the things that you guys have commonly encountered, are infused with this black goo, and they're constantly trying to make it stronger. And that's what makes the Nightingales so powerful, and that's what gives them their abilities.
The warlocks.
Nice.
Cut them off from the head.
Yeah.
Cut them off from the
I
head.
feel like we're learning too much.
Yeah.
Use a crowbar to
We have to clarify
jam
some
their
things.
mouth open.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so you guys found some corpses
That
of
was a
Nightingales.
pivotal bonding moment, I felt, for Law and Nikki.
Why was it a
Yeah.
pivotal bonding moment?
It's like the first time I felt like we really worked together.
Yeah. We
For
wanted
gold.
to figure it out.
He had like he was trying to get intelligence and I was trying to get money.
Yeah.
So it was beneficial for both of us.
Yeah.
That was also a pivotal bonding moment for
Mm-hmm.
Therese and Yogala, because we went through the whole little facility together, and they weren't with us for some
No.
reason. And then that's when we met Moof, the kobold.
So we're gonna get to Moof in just a second
Yeah.
because Moof plays a pretty important part in the story. One
Better or worse.
Yeah.
Poor Moof.
What? Sorry. What did you say?
I said poor Moof.
Oh yeah.
For better
Uh,
or worse, poor Moof. Yeah.
Kyle, I always think of when I think about the kobold section, I think
The
of
sick flame spell.
the burning hands. That
Yeah,
was the
that was
moment
sick.
you
Oh,
first
yeah.
used it, and you wreaked a lot of havoc. You also found out that the Nightingales have weird skeletal structures. That's all I'm going to say about that.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, you do at the end. You find sort of this ferryman, and this ferryman is a kobold. And what he does is he's kind of the runt of the litter. He's not strong enough to take the experiments of the Nightingales, so he's kind of doomed to be picked on and ferry the Nightingales between this hideout and the city of Helensburg. And Moof. How did you guys encounter Moof? What was sort of your initial impression of him, real quick?
He was like standing alone by the boat, right?
Yeah, he was
and he was
shaking.
really pathetic and cold.
Yep.
I felt sorry for him. I
Yeah, I
think
pitied him.
I pitied him.
I don't know if me and
Yogala didn't
Yogala
trust
did.
him.
I was just like, who's this? Who cares?
Yogala thought he was disgusting.
Yeah, he was very aggressive about
I
it, I feel like.
saw greatness in Move.
Lost.
Law did.
Yeah.
Law did, yeah.
Like one day, Move would be the key to it all.
The key.
Law had a lot of funny ideas.
So you guys sort of befriended Moof, and you went on the boat, and you started going across the river, and sort of about halfway, I guess, to Helensburg, you ran into a fishman named
Oh my
Kuo.
god.
And Kuo was kind of like a troll under the bridge situation, where he wanted to kind of stick you guys up
Yeah.
and take you for everything you had, but that didn't happen that way.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What went down?
I think we stabbed it in an eyeball.
Kyle shot a magic missile at him,
Into his eye.
and I punched him in the other eye.
Yeah. So we blinded him.
But then
and he was on the ropes. He was ready to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
they were
Law-
ready to kill him,
Yeah.
and then Law diffused the situation.
With
yeah.
a spectacular critical
Roll, yeah.
success.
Yes.
And Kuo befriended us and decided to come along
Partied
with
up.
us.
Yeah, he was our fish
He
pal.
partied up with us. So then we had two little hangers on, Moof and Kuo,
Fellowship.
blind fishman and a runty little kobold.
It was the crew was already motley, but
Yeah.
at this point it was kind of
Yep.
rough.
Ragtag.
Ragtag, sure. I like it. So you go to Helensburg, and the reason you're going to the city, you actually have a purpose for going to the city. You're not just going because you want to talk to the Baron.
Yeah.
And you want some help with the rebellion so you can take down the
That was our
Nightingales.
job.
That was
our
your
job was to
job.
deliver a
We
message.
just needed to deliver
Yeah.
a message to the Baron that they needed weapons or something. Back in the other.
No, they needed help.
Oh yeah. What town was the other town called?
This is Helensburg.
No, what was the one we came from called?
Londonburg, yes.
Londongrad?
Sorry, not
Londonguard?
Londonguard. It is Londonguard.
Yeah.
Thank you. Londonguard. We haven't talked about Londonguard in a long time.
That's the town that we came from.
Yeah.
That Yogala and I came from.
Yeah. Londonguard's not in a great
Yeah.
spot right now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to mention it, because I knew we find out what happened to it.
But Law is concerned about Kuo, and he wants to get him healed.
Yeah.
So he goes to
The church.
the church to get healing.
Also his foot. I think he heals his own
His
foot.
Oh, and his
was
foot.
infected
Yes,
because
that's
I
right.
put the grain
Because
in.
he shoved a bunch of grain in it.
Yes.
I tried to plug the wound.
It went badly.
Went very badly.
Got
Yes.
infected almost immediately.
So we go in and somebody I think it was Nicator, slammed the door open,
Yeah, no, I kicked it open.
kicked the door open, and immediately set off everyone in the church. They were
Flipping.
on edge.
Yeah.
Well, and keep in mind that the town of Helensburg did not take kindly to Kuo,
Yeah.
this fish man
Yeah.
walking around. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did not like Kuo.
Discriminating
So,
against him.
despite Nicator kicking the door open, Law diffuses the situation, said it was the wind. They were like, whatever. They were still on edge, though.
Yeah.
And they healed us. They healed Kuo
And said never come back.
Reluctantly.
reluctantly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then said never come back.
Never come
Well,
back.
Law came back, but before we get there, there's another event with Kuo that is very, very important. You go to a tailor because Kuo's eye is all messed up; he can't see. So you go to a tailor to get an eye patch for Kuo,
Right.
and this actually ends up becoming a very important moment because
An embroidered eye patch with all of us on it.
Dude, do you
Yeah.
remember the first suggestion was it's for it to have a spike on it?
yeah.
I can headbutt people.
The tailor has many cats as well.
Yeah.
And one of the cats ends up eating the ball of infected grain that came from Law's foot, and it ends up hurting the cat. And so Law goes back to the priests to go heal the cat. They're very upset with you at this point. But the group kind of splits off here, and so the tailor is trying to get everybody on this eye patch. And
So a portrait
Yeah,
So a portrait.
portrait of everybody
Yes,
onto
yeah.
this eye patch.
On an iPad.
under an eye patch.
Big iPad.
It's a big iPad. He's got big
Cash,
eyes.
man.
in the town, there's another element we need to talk about is a wizard
Yeah.
that has a red staff and a green cloak.
Yeah.
And Yogala starts throwing his weight around, saying that he's a superior wizard, and because of his fantastic might, he deserves to be taught some spells.
Which really holds up logically.
And the Baron, once we kind of get done with the grain shenanigans, the group is scattered a little bit. And we end up... Yogala, who are you with when you're with Nicator?
When?
And you're with Therese.
And me, yeah.
Because some things go down in this town.
Because I was eavesdropping on the wizard with my raven
Right.
familiar, and
Right.
heard that he's got people stashed somewhere, like in a basement or something, I thought, and they were experimenting on them, and it was unclear if they were trying to find a way to stop the Nightingales or were working for the Nightingales.
This is where you find out that, around this time anyways, that Londonguard is destroyed.
We found out Londonguard was destroyed, and that Zizi, Yogala's
Yes,
cat,
so this is a very important moment for Yogala.
was probably
because-
dead.
Right. Zizi is in Londonguard, and so Yogala feels compelled to go back. And Therese starts a chain of events, transforms her familiar into
first-
Zizi.
First, I tried to steal a cat from the tailor, if I recall.
We got cats.
Didn't we? Didn't
I
we
rolled-
steal one
Yeah.
I
first?
rolled a 20 and we got cats.
Yeah.
We got cats, but then I don't remember why that didn't work. Because I was going to try to dirty one up and pass it off as Zizi so that we wouldn't have to go back to Londonguard.
You do eventually use your familiar.
But then I do eventually make my familiar turn into a cat and pretend to be Zizi.
And I had a bad roll, and so I thought it was easy.
And he believed it.
yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. I claimed it like followed us this whole way or something.
as we would find out is pretty typical of Tabletop Escapades. What should have been a seemingly mundane event ends up becoming a life-changing moment.
Giant story.
Yep.
Yogala, you go into a library, and you go
Looking
into
for
this,
another magic book.
You're just looking for spells. You're
Yeah.
hungry for magical knowledge.
He's a street wizard.
Yogala, do you want to describe what happens here?
Yeah, so there was an old guard locking up. Used to sleep on him. He fell to the floor, was sleeping. Moof comes with me into the library. We find some books. I had a bad roll, so it wasn't clear to me like which book to get, and so there was one up there, and I just said, "Moof, get that book." And Moof was like, I'm too small, I can't do it. And then so I says, just climb up there and get it, Moof. And Moof says, I shouldn't climb, it's gonna hurt me. And so I said, Moof, just get me that book. And so Moof climbed up the bookshelf, had a bad roll, fell. Now, I knew that Yogala would be harmed if he tried to catch Moof. So Yogala took a step aside and let Moof fall. He and all the books. Yogala took the book. Moof was too hurt to leave on his own accord, so Yogala left him.
Yeah, this is an important point.
Yeah.
Yogala just left the injured.
Left Moof.
Let him fall and then abandoned him.
Crept out of the
And this
library
was
with a new magic book.
And this creates some animosity between
Yeah.
Moof and Yogala that will resurface.
And I wasn't there because I was posing for the eye patch, I think. 'Cause that's why I wasn't there. Because I was always the one that stood up for Moof to Yogala.
Yeah.
So Law goes to Moof and ends up taking Moof's side here. And Moof, feeling emboldened by this, says that Yogala attacked him. That Yogala caused him harm.
Yeah.
Yeah?
A rift has formed.
A rift is formed.
The party.
And
begins to
this is like the fourth time or something like that. Several times. Law then takes Moof to the priests, and they're upset.
They
this
do
point.
not want to heal this man.
Because he tried to heal the cat,
Yes.
and he did heal the cat.
He
The
did, well,
priest said,
the
"Fine."
cat died, and they brought it back to
they
life.
brought it back
Yeah.
to life.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But then it was
Reds.
very strange.
It was very, yeah.
It was like a zombie
It
cat.
was
Like
not
purple,
natural.
and
Right. Pet Cemetery.
The tailor was very put off by this.
So, what a mess
As you'd
this
expect.
is. The priests don't let Law in. They
Yeah.
don't let him come in.
And this upsets Law.
Yes. Law is a very
Because
caring
it's like,
person.
yo, you're a healing church here. We have a person in need of help. Why are you not helping? It's very, very black and white.
Right.
It's like, you can help him. He is hurt. Help him.
But they're like, he's
But
a
they don't.
kobold,
Yeah, so
and
they're
we're racist.
So they're not into it.
So here's what Law does. Law takes Moof to the Baron. And the Baron says that he was told by the priest that Law is threatening people. And that
a
Law
lie.
and Yogala need to be exiled from the city. Moof on the ground by the Baron's feet. And a driving force for your character here, and this is very important, is after this kind of happens, you just want to reconcile with the Baron. You just want to
Yeah.
talk to him. You just want to explain yourself.
Yeah.
That is a driving force for you.
A strangely driving force.
Yeah. So Law and Yogala do get kicked out of the city walls, and you break back in with a spell that ends up being very important several times throughout the adventure, called Rope Trick.
Yeah, rope trick.
Can you describe Rope Trick for us?
Rope trick is an invisible room,
A pocket dimension.
a pocket dimension. You simply extend your hand, and a rope travels up from your hand and into the pocket dimension. And you can just climb up in that dimension, hang out in it for like an hour. You can see down through it. No one can see up through it. And no spells can travel through that invisible boundary. Pretty cool spell.
Very cool.
Throughout this chaos, and as you guys are sneaking back into the city, you go back to the tailor's place, which is in disarray.
Ben, I think we skipped something important.
Okay.
We did
Our
skip
mission,
something.
our mission with the Baron, our first meeting with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, yeah, you can do that thing, but I need all these resources first.
Right.
He said, I need gunpowder, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically the super short version of that is he's like, I can't help you until you help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. we need
Because-
to get him weapons or something.
And so it was clear what our quest was meant to be. If it
Right,
were an RPG,
right.
it's like, oh, okay,
Right.
I get the gunpowder for
The
the
main
Baron. Our
story
quest
is-
continues.
But things do not go that way.
exactly,
No.
yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
The other thing that I want to say that I do think is important, and I forgot earlier, and this is why you guys, I need your help, that this city is getting regularly raided by the Nightingales.
Yeah.
They're already under threat. So there are a lot of places
Yeah.
in this world where the Nightingales haven't attacked, but they keep doing small raids on the city, and so that's why the Baron's like, look,
He's
I can't.
stressed.
He's stressed. I
Yeah.
can't do this right. And he's trying to protect his people. So that's going on. What's going on with him? But back to this, you go back to the tailor's place, and the tailor's dead. Kuo is dead, stuffed into a closet, I believe.
No, Kuo
No,
is
Kuo
missing.
Kuo is missing.
Kuo is
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
up missing. We
The
don't know where
tailor
he
is in the. Yes,
Yeah,
you're
the
right.
tailor is
tailor's in
dead.
the closet, and he has a note on him that says, "You shouldn't have trusted me, Therese."
like from Therese. Love Therese.
And this
But wait,
causes.
didn't that happen?
No, it's
No,
not,
that happened.
it was just there was no love there. But I
No.
appreciate
But that because when they were in the rope trick, they saw me do the thing.
Yeah, it was
in the alley.
Nikita and Therese,
Right.
Yeah.
and Therese slit that dude's throat.
Okay, you're right.
Then
That
you saw the
happened.
note
That
after.
happened before.
So they're
note.
in the rope trick, and Nikita and I were trying to find that wizard. What were we doing?
We were looking for Kuo. I think
Well,
he was missing.
because we saw that Kuo was missing
And
from
there's,
the tailor's place.
I think
Nice.
we saw
Because
like
we were trying to steal a cat.
Yeah.
And then Kuo was suddenly gone from the outside. So then we go looking for Kuo back at the bar where we saw the evil wizard, or the whatever wizard. And then we were in the back, and there was a super drunk guy who, just kind of, touched Therese, pushed her, or, grabbed her shoulders or something.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the drunk man did that caused you to
He just
freak
touched
out.
me.
Okay.
Therese became upset and slit his throat.
And they're like,
And they were just
In the
directly
sky.
above it in the
Yeah.
sky watching this, and we couldn't
Yeah.
tell they were there.
Yep.
And my cat was with them, I think, my familiar. So then I transform into looking like a overweight middle-aged fisherman, and then Nikita and I kind of start just stealthing away from where we were
to the docks.
to the docks. All hell starts breaking loose.
yeah, and
Guards are looking for everybody because they spotted you guys or something.
Law makes a choice. He decides to turn himself into the Baron.
Oh, yep. That was cool.
And we have this little section didn't last very long, but it's one of my favorites. So the Baron throws you in a jail cell, and he says
The Baron's men, mind you.
the Baron's men.
Yeah,
The Baron is MIA.
he has yet to see the Baron. He just keeps
Yeah.
saying, "I need to
I
talk
need
to the
speak
Baron."
with the Baron.
Yeah,
Over and over
and you
again.
do briefly see him, but it's Anyway, you make a blood oath with a fellow jailmate in an adjacent cell.
I forget his name.
Yeah, a
Tyrell.
small halfling.
Tyrell or
Tyrell.
something.
Yeah,
Tyrone, Tyrell.
I think it is Tyrell or Tyrone.
It's Tyrell.
Okay.
But there's he's really
Shady.
curt to you at first.
Yeah.
He's like, mind your own business, but eventually over time you end up actually making
literally
a
blood pact.
real blood oath. Yeah.
Best friend.
And you break your arm trying to bust down the door. Do you remember that?
I do. Very, very costly a move right there.
Yeah.
Very, very costly.
There were a lot of costly things that Lush tried
Because-
that didn't unfortunately work out.
I tried to bust out because I wanted to sneak up to the Baron's room.
Yeah.
To
talk
the
to him.
Baron.
All
It's
you
also
wanted was to
reasonable.
talk to him.
Yeah.
What did you say when the guards found you? I forgot what you said.
I forget.
You're like, I kick in my sleep or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
I kick in
I
my
punch in my
sleep.
I punch in my sleep.
Because he
Yeah.
said he never lies earlier in
Yeah.
the episode, too.
Yeah.
The three of you that aren't in a jail cell do eventually end
Reunite,
up
yeah.
freeing Law and getting him out of there.
Oh, God.
Various bush hiding.
I think actually he broke himself out of the cell.
But
Yeah.
Yep.
But then he was
But
back
he doesn't.
in.
He doesn't get free, nor does he
Yeah.
get what he wants. He doesn't
Yeah.
get to talk to the
He
Baron.
broke out of the cell and then was put back in it, and
Right.
then we finally went
Yes.
in and got him out.
That's exactly what happened. Yep.
It was like a whole 3-episode ordeal.
As are most things. Law gets a trial. They decide to put this guy that's causing chaos, bringing fear into the town, and that's something important. Law is wanting to do good, and he's following his instincts, but it is freaking everyone out. And because you guys came in and the murder of the tailor happened, and your association with Kuo, you are very distrusted.
And
by
the
Helensburg.
guy behind the bar.
Yeah.
Trail
So-
of bodies.
Trail of Bodies, but it's not just that. Law gets a trial, and Yogala, Therese, you're disguised as a fisherman named Frank, by the way. at this
Oh,
time.
and I forgot I did not actually kill the tailor, in case that wasn't clear.
No.
And there was a really good moment that I really liked, because Therese is never quite sure of anything mentally. There was a really nice moment when I asked Nicator if I did it, and you said, "No, I was with you the whole time," and I believed you. So that was really nice. But anyway, sorry.
This deserves special mention. The night before the trial, Yogala ends up finding, and I think you're there too, Therese, like this hidden alleyway where cat races happen.
Oh, yeah.
in Helensburg.
Oh yeah, I was getting drunk in the
'Cause-
pub.
Yeah.
Ben, it was funny. It was like the trial was the next day, and you said, "Are you sure there's nothing else you want to do?"
Right.
Yeah.
And I was
Bang
like,
language.
Yeah.
Bad language. So we're like,
Yeah.
okay.
"We'll do some cat races."
Yeah, we
so
did
we're trying to
one.
find
we
some
found a
cat
cat race,
Yeah.
and then my familiar was still pretending to be ZZ,
Yeah,
Yes.
and we won.
and did really well.
Yeah. It was just kind of a fun aside that,
Yeah.
that I
It
wanted
was
to mention
fun.
really quick.
Side quest.
Side quest.
During the trial, you see the Green Wizard, the one that you truly did insult at the bar. That is a good way to describe it. Is you said some choice words and were very boastful. So this Green Wizard has manufactured evidence that Law is a Nightingale spy. But here's the thing: that's fine. But what's really important is Moof testifies against Law.
Yeah, it wasn't right.
That ain't right.
It seemed as though he might be being coerced, though.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Green Wizard who who has Moof in his thrall is causing that to happen. But Yogala, who already did not like Moof at this point, likes
Yeah.
him way less now, and
It was-
it causes the group to not.
It was a
Probably the-
really cool scene. It was one of those classic, like, we're hiding in the crowd watching this thing happen
Braveheart.
scenes.
Yeah.
Like Braveheart, like Harry Potter, like watching Snape, like, do his, like, mumbling something, and you're like, that guy's up to something, you know?
Yeah.
It was a really cool crowd scene.
Probably the last time Law saw a move.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man.
So
Well,
then,
we're getting into what I would consider maybe the most climactic moment in Tabletop Escapades so far. In the middle of the trial, the Nightingale army attacks
yeah.
Helensburg. And so at this point, the whole militia doesn't really care about prosecuting this dwarf monk from China. They care about defending their city. But only Law decides to join them in the battle.
For some reason.
To help out.
To help out.
Form on me.
Form on me.
With a broken
Yeah, because
arm.
the
Yep.
three of us got Law out. Well, like we
Three
during
times.
during the chaos, we take Law off the stage, bust him out. We're clear. We're free and clear. We sneak past guards.
Yep.
Get him out. He's free and clear, ready to go out of the town. All we have to do is leave. I've even chartered a boat to get us out of town and follow the wizard that left.
Yes.
We have a whole direction. Law just has to follow us. And
And he
then Law
doesn't.
says, no, I'm going and I'm going to fight. And then we're all just like, all right, see you never. Like,
Yep.
right?
But I mean, again, Law's trying to
That was
do
hard
what
for
he thinks is
Nicator.
right. Yeah, because they had
We're
formed a bond.
becoming
We straight up
pals.
made the choice to leave him, though.
No,
didn't
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We collectively made a choice
We
to leave
busted
Law.
him
yeah.
out 3 times.
We busted him out 3 times. He just kept going, I need to see the Baron.
Wasn't this is important because wasn't there a time where you guys like pretty much had him free and he saw the Baron and like
Yeah.
went to the Baron?
Yeah,
there's
Like,
a whole
yeah, that's
yeah.
there was an alley.
Void
I
voice.
had like
Yeah.
done a whole bunch of I was doing a fake Baron with this silent image spell that
And
I
I
can
did
do
the
it well.
voice.
He did the voice of the Baron, made all the guards go away, but then the real Baron showed up and Law just went over to him.
So
And
during
then they arrested me.
And then they arrested you again.
During the
Again?
Battle of Helensburg, I just really quickly, it's a big moment. We do have to kind of
Yeah.
get moving, unfortunately. There are giant trolls that you find out the Nightingales are using, and you try to shoot a catapult, these giant flaming balls at the trolls. Doesn't go very well.
He somehow convinced an entire team of catapult
Yep.
men to follow his orders.
So there were orcs. There were a whole like slew of orcs charging at you. You actually form a wall with the militiamen.
Shield wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Form on me.
Classic Viking maneuver.
Classic
Yep.
maneuver.
At the beginning of the battle, this is actually the only time this has happened in the story of Tabletop Escapades. You actually see the warlocks, 2 of the warlocks from the Nightingale Army, head of the order, kind of come in and they're casting magic and causing a ruckus. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I figured, the whole point of the mission was to stop the Nightingales.
That's true.
So, and to help this village as well on the Baron.
Yep.
So I figured it made sense for Law
City.
to
Kyle's not buying that.
That was not the mission.
I figured it made sense.
Yeah, our mission was just deliver information, find weapons for the Baron.
I mean, this is accurate to the story. Different.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
For
that's
me,
it, yeah.
for me, I wanted to protect the innocence of the village and
Absolutely.
the city. I mean, and
You thought that city was impure.
Yeah, you thought that city was impure. You hated that city.
It reeked of sketch.
it did because it was being controlled by said nightingales who.
It wasn't being controlled
You
by
hated
the church.
That whole church. There was like some sketchy people in the church.
No, they're just racist. I mean, they're racist, but they weren't at all involved with the Nightingales, to our knowledge.
Weren't
They were jerks.
No,
There was something.
They were just assholes. The racist
And we
assholes.
saw the dude, like the wizard guy. He was there.
the wizard guy
So-
is sketch, yes,
Yeah.
but he's not from.
We find
he's
out
not
more about
originally
him later.
from.
He left.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
green wizard did leave.
The real mission was probably follow
Yeah,
the
they went. They
wizard.
did.
We went after
They
him.
went after the green
We
wizard
were thinking
and
big
moved
picture.
on the
He's
boat.
thinking, let's fight this battle.
Anyway,
Big picture would have been rallying, saving this city. They ally with us to further our agenda.
I remember Ben describing the battle, and it was a
Clearly
lost
hopeless.
cause. Pretty much.
clearly
no,
hopeless.
but you know
I
what?
was a move or two away from winning the battle.
It was.
If we had three other
Most of
heroes,
the army was
Hey,
not
if
dead.
we had three other heroes, we would have won.
Dungeons and Dragons is all about
Guarantee
player
we would've
choice. I don't think
No,
you can
yeah,
argue
we
that.
love it.
I mean, Hubert, the odds were stacked against you.
They were.
But you
Heavily.
you didn't give up. You didn't turn. You didn't try to retreat. You did nothing. You fought until the very end. The cannonballs didn't exactly go your way. Not cannonballs, but the catapult launches didn't exactly go your way. So you did one last ditch effort. What was this?
Tried to launch myself onto a troll.
From the catapult.
Miscalculation and splattered into the wall.
No, you go over the wall.
Yeah.
Threw a giant
Clear
hole
over
in
the
the
wall.
wall.
Yeah.
And you splat on the ground.
Under the rocks outside
And
the
that was it.
city.
And unfortunately, that was the very last we ever saw of your character. First and only
Pulverized.
death.
First death.
of
Bloody
Purple Player
mess.
character. A lot, Huber. How did that moment make you feel?
I was bummed. It's very sad.
Are you bummed right now?
I'm bummed right now thinking about it.
Okay.
Because I really wanted the conversation with the Baron after that whole thing. No, and not even trolling. Like, I wanted to prove myself to the Baron that I
Yeah.
was good, that I wanted to save the city, that I wanted to stop the Nightingales and, like, ally with him to go on. You know, I thought he was going to be, like, the sickest ally ever, the Baron.
Yeah.
Full 180 turnaround. Like, oh, man, you stood, you saved, you stayed here and you fought with us. Like, we're now brothers, but he's probably dead, too.
We'll have to see. Yeah. The rest of the group is chasing again, as I said, the Green Wizard and Moof on a ship. You're in your own ship, and you meet a group of sailors.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually end up kind of impressing these sailors. Nicator is especially successful.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They kind of like you.
Yeah.
You kind of become part of the group.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the ship of sailors that we met while we were pretending to be fishermen out
Yeah.
on the side of Helensburg. And yeah, we chartered them to follow.
I believe you did some arm wrestling, didn't you?
No,
Yeah.
we fought.
Oh, okay. You
Fought,
did like a
yeah.
back.
Fight on the
Yeah.
It was a fist fight, yeah.
Yeah.
And I beat him
Backroom
down.
brawl. Right.
But we
right,
were
right.
paying them to follow the wizard.
Yes.
With our cat race winnings.
With our cat
Yeah,
race
race
winnings.
yeah.
And gold would be primary concern.
Ongoing.
I mean, it was always that, but now you actually had some real substantial go.
No, we had a taste.
Nick-
Yeah,
Nicator
and that would
Nugala
only
came
that would
into
only
some gold.
grow for
Sack of
Nicator and
coin.
Nugala over
Yeah.
time. Anyway, there was a new character that was a stowaway on this ship named Pomper.
Pomper.
And Pomper is the first that we've seen of the Dragonborn. And Dragonborn are universally reviled because they're created when the Red Dragons enslaved other races. They made children with these other races, and that became the Dragonborn. And the Dragonborn is a representation of that very evil time, and they're just seen as unnatural. And so that's something that Pomper has had to deal with ever since.
Hiding away in the forest.
I mean
Pomper.
you no harm. I
Yep.
just want to eat your food. I think is how he was introduced.
Yeah.
Therese, I think, getting tired of having her familiar be a cat
Oh, yeah.
that is not around anymore.
I was annoyed with Yogala and tired of having my familiar be in cat form instead of raven form, which I think we both prefer. I used silent image to produce a bobbing corpse of Zizi in the waves.
Yeah.
And then
And Yogala's got magic hands.
Yogala's got magic hands.
So he tried to reach out.
But every time he would try to pick up the cat, I would have it bob under the waves. And then I made it look like it sunk away. And so then my familiar became a bird again. Because I wanted to eavesdrop on stuff, and yeah.
It's important to say here that Pomper was really trying not to be found because he knew it would happen. But Pomper, you do get discovered, and the sailors want to kill you, and this causes a fight.
And Decatur tries to back Pomper up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it reminds him of Chuck, his long-lost dragonborn friend.
Truck.
right. And this for the second time, Yogala stirs the pot with magic missile,
Yeah.
shooting Pomper
Yeah.
into the ocean.
No,
I
think
jumped off.
He jumped
No,
off.
you shot him in the face.
He got shot.
and he said, "I knew I
Yeah.
couldn't trust you."
He shot.
Yeah, you did
He
get
shot
by
a magic missile into Pomper's face, and then Pomper
Jumped
said,
off
"Screw
the
this,"
boat.
and jumped off the boat.
Into the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure death.
Everyone dies except for two sailors. You remember the two sailors that you keep alive? Like they're still steering the ship.
The gold boys.
Wait, I want to...
Well, we
Yes.
kind of skipped ahead.
yeah, I
We
wanna
did,
rewind.
but hold on. There are a bunch that jump over as well, and
Because they're afraid of me, I think. Because I turn from being a fisherman into myself. They think I'm a witch. So, like, we overthrow the ship, and then I'm trying to convince all the sailors not to be afraid by speaking directly into their minds, and then most of them jump overboard.
Yep.
I want to rewind real quick.
Sure.
Because this is a really important part for Decatur. The entire adventure, he's trying not to fight with people, really. Tries to talk his way out of things. This is the time Decatur and, like, Yogala straight up fight people. We murder, I think, multiple people
Yeah,
on
you
that boat.
do.
I cut off that captain's head,
Oh, yeah,
and I
that's cool.
throw it overboard, and Pomper sees it going overboard and gets scared.
Trying to climb up.
Yeah.
But Pomper, you formed some friends here, and you you cast some spells. You ended
Water
up
walk.
water walk. That's exactly
They
right.
don't trust me at first.
You save half of them. They decide to water walk. Half of them decide, and then the other half just drown.
Yeah.
And then we get into a crazy thick mist.
Yes, but before there's an important thing that happens with you here, Therese. Is you guys you specifically explore
Oh God.
the cabin of the
The
captain.
captain's
The
quarters.
captain's hat.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a strange bad smell.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting to. So you find a golden statue of a bird, and it turns out that this statue is cursed.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And
As
you
soon as
have
I
to
touch it.
you have to kill somebody every 3 days. So you have to kill one person,
One human.
within that 3 day time period.
Was that some just DM RNG right there, or
No.
was that premeditated?
No, unfortunately, and I think this was true to Therese's character. That is actually, so another insight for the players here. That was connected to the magic of the red dragons.
Yeah, we knew that.
Did you?
I did. Anyway.
Okay.
I
Well, you
think
didn't
one
seem
of the
to
old
care, which
guys
is
admitted
fine.
to it.
Later
What's that?
on, we
Okay.
discovered that. Yeah.
That was just kind of that was meant to illustrate perhaps how the red dragons were so easily able to easily enslave the other races
Right.
during this time.
Trickery.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if it was real or not. But I freaking out. And then we go below deck,
Yes.
and I discover the body of Kuo
Yeah.
under the
Kuo's
captain's
dead.
quarters, and then I try to tell Yogala and Decatur, and they won't listen to me.
No. I mean, we see it, I think, later.
Yeah.
Then
and-
later
we
on,
just don't,
there's-
we just don't care.
There's
though.
not. Yeah, I don't think anyone
They
cares,
didn't-
but
they didn't
Huber
care 'cause of the
cared.
gold.
Huber had a relationship with Kuo.
Law did.
Law did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pomper.
Pomper did not,
doesn't.
because Pomper didn't know him.
Pomper inexplicably has some relationships with other people,
He was just a poor fish man, you know.
but
Yeah, and he's dead.
The sailors.
then we hit the fog, right?
You do, yes,
Wake up on the island from Lost.
yes. No, it was just an island, but yeah. Still haven't seen an episode of Lost. You find yourself on an island, so there's this mist, and it's basically indicating that you are in a bad place, and you kind of, if I remember correctly, Pomper, you wake up, and you're with Moof. And you're tied up with him, and the Green Wizard is there. And there are these. Do you remember these guys? These enemies?
Yeah.
They're
The Resident
the.
Evil 4 enemies.
What's that?
The Resident Evil 4 enemies.
Right.
They're
So
like
they're these
white,
They're sort of these
chalky-
tar monsters that have white paint on them. and they're actually created from the black goo that you encountered earlier.
Sketch goo.
But you have an incredibly heroic moment here, Pomper, because the Green Wizard tells the both of you, you and Moof, that if the experiments don't work, that they're going to kill you. But you're able to escape, and you're able to take the Green Wizard down, and you snag his staff.
With a co-op move with Moof.
Yep.
Little suplex, followed up by a knife stab. Right in the chest.
Yeah, it was good.
And you return to the beach, and the sailors aren't there that you had so valiantly saved before. Instead, there was a mysterious man in a brown cloak, and he's moving around seashells with his staff.
And he's nice.
Yes, and then the rest of the party. There's a lot of times split up here. You also are on the same island, and
Different part of the beach.
yeah, different. You're not. Yeah,
We don't
you're
know where
basically
Pomper is. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah, you're in a different location. But the two sailors that are alive, you recruit them to be your gold boys.
Yep.
And you actually
Nicator.
find a lot of gold in the captain's quarters, and you really expand your stash here.
Legendary Gold Boys.
Gold
Yeah.
Boy 1 and Gold Boy 2,
Yep.
as they named
That's right.
them.
You treat them like slaves.
Yep.
You send one of the gold boys into the forest. Do you remember
does.
that?
Yes, he does.
'Cause he
He
said
never
there was
comes
Well,
back.
no. He
wait.
comes back and he tells you to follow him. You don't. So Gold Boy goes back into the forest and dies.
He was saying something about witch doctors.
Yeah. So Gold Boy 2 now became Gold Boy 1.
He was upgraded. Yeah.
You also run into a man in a brown cloak. Different personality than the brown cloak man
a little rude.
that Pomper comes into.
he's kind of a
the one,
jerk.
yeah, so the one that Pomper runs into is kind of a nice old man. Seems to care about Pomper and his situation.
With a big old green dragon foot, because I
Big
wanted
old-
to stomp my feet.
Yes, can you describe that for our audience real quick? What the thing is with Pomper? With the stomach?
Pomper, a sign of respect and friendship is they to stomp one another's foot. It's his version of a handshake. Yep.
It
Because
says,
why
I can
not?
trust you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can trust you to stomp it.
Yeah.
Do you trust me to stomp yours? That's the question.
Do you?
So you guys run into this mysterious man, and he's a little eviler, and he gives Yogala a scroll.
Oh, yes.
And it's I really like this moment. And basically, the Cliff Notes version of it is that if Yogala reads this scroll when the moon is full at midnight,
Oh, God.
Yogala will gain the power of the Red Dragons.
so
It hasn't been explicitly said what that is,
Yeah.
but there have been some predictions made.
Who knows he has the scroll?
All of us.
All three of us.
Okay, so you guys know. Okay. Terrifies me.
I think he also admitted to the curse at that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told. Yeah, at some point I found out that the curse was for the
Also,
Final boss of
the remaining
Cow Boss.
the remaining gold boy gets his leg broken here, which is really sad.
Oh, yeah. We
because he
get
can't
attacked.
carry the gold
Yeah.
anymore.
That you guys get attacked by these witch doctor tar monsters.
Oh yeah.
And you guys retreat back to the boat. You leave.
Gold boy on the sand.
Well, my understanding of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, you basically think that Gold Boy is going to bite the dust because he can't retreat away from these
Yeah.
witch doctors, and you end up killing the wounded Gold
I-
Boy.
That was after.
Oh,
I thought.
Therese
after we
does.
dealt with the thing, my supply of humans was dwindling.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't like them keeping gold boys around, but I wanted them to keep a gold boy around just so I could have someone to murder in 3 days
Because
to
of that
put
curse.
blood on that stupid statue. Because Therese is, a little, so I slit his throat and shoved the statue down his throat
Oh,
to
yeah.
get blood on it.
This whole time, Nicator and Yogala are pretty sure that Therese likes this man.
Yeah, which is
Very
not
much
true
so.
at all.
Right, the romance between Therese
very
and
much so.
So we're trying to Decatur are convinced that Therese is in love with Goldboy 1, when really I was just trying to keep him around so I could murder him.
And we
Your classic love story.
we still think that too.
Yeah.
We thought it was
Yeah.
hard for her.
Just a quick random note. It just popped in my head now. So the resistance group that you guys were originally sent on this mission for, the name is the Gilded Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Viren is the leader. Yes. So we kind of are slowly working our way to the next big arc, and this big arc starts with a ziggurat that you find. And kind of the way that you're introduced to the ziggurat is that you hear a roar. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And this ziggurat has a bunch of etchings on it of all sorts of different creatures. And it's got a stairway leading up. And every time you step on one of these stairs, it turns white. You all eventually end up going into the ziggurat. The whole group meets up, and Yugala almost kills Pomper and Moof. So you kind of finally reunite. And there's some tensions there. And there are 3 doors.
Wait, your girl almost killed me again?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was kind of an on-site.
Just readied some magic missiles.
When we
Right,
finally met back
It
up,
wasn't.
there
It wasn't like you were.
a
Right.
defensive move.
There was
Yeah.
going to be some
Okay.
fighting.
It was like the meeting, and then some tension immediately.
I think we whacked each other's bums, me and Moof, and then we were good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we stomped each other's feet,
Yep.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Whacked each other's butts. Is that going to be a new thing?
You hit
It was
they
with the
hit each
cane.
other with the cane.
I have a
on
short
the butt.
staff.
Oh right.
So like
I thought you were making a new
reparations
RP
for the
thing.
yeah no.
There are 3 doors inside the ziggurat. And what I like, just a little quick aside, is Yogala actually ends up looking in one of them. It's white, red, and green. Yogala ends up looking at one of them, and there are 3.
It was the red one.
It was the red one, yep.
Yeah.
There are 3 maidens in white that are bleeding. Just goes, nope.
Walks back out.
And you all eventually end up going through the green door. And inside that door, there is a maze of mirrors. So basically, mirrors, tall, vertical mirrors, just kind of creating bears all the way down. But it doesn't look like there's a ceiling or a floor, but there's an invisible ceiling and floor that you guys can walk on, but your weapons or any other item that you drop will fall through into the abyss.
Yeah.
Yep. And you ended
lost
up
a
losing
nightingale.
something very important there, Nicator. What was that?
The Nightingale sword I stole off the corpse of one of them in the tomb way back in with Law. I gave it to Pomper to hold because we were trying to teach him how to fight, me and Yogala.
Yeah, trying to teach Moof how to fight.
Yeah, Moof how to fight,
Yep.
yeah. And he dropped it.
Yep.
I was very upset.
Freaking Moof. Pomper, you make a bold decision here. And that decision is to go into one of the mirrors.
Not walk down a hallway, but go through one of the mirrors.
Yes. What happens when you do this?
I find the sailors, and they're freaking out.
They are freaking out. You have a plan for them. What is that plan?
The plan was to all go through a certain mirror.
Separate mirrors.
Separate-
You go,
yeah.
go through separate
All
mirrors.
go through separate mirrors at the same time.
Yep. But you didn't go through a mirror. They went through mirrors.
Yeah.
And when they go through the mirrors, they all start multiplying. And
Yes.
there are tons and tons and tons of sailors.
Yes.
Who aren't necessarily duplicates.
No.
Some are just new sailors.
Some were just new sailors.
Yeah.
And what's
So
interesting
scary.
is, unfortunately, those sailors
weird.
kind of get abandoned because you go through another mirror and you wake. And again, I'm shortening what happens here. There's an image of Law and stuff like that. But what ends up happening is you end up finding a green dragon. And this is a moment that hasn't quite paid off yet in Tabletop Escapades. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. You are talking to the green dragon, and he kind of explains that there are reasons that the green dragons cannot directly intervene, and he needs you to make a choice. He says, will you sacrifice the remaining members of the green dragon race in order to be infused with a power that you don't yet understand that could end the Nightingales and potentially the red dragon threat? And you force him to make that decision.
Yeah. You choose.
Yep. But you
Who
get,
am I?
you get
Why did you yell, "Who am I?" again?
It just showed up, a giant green dragon, and he says, "Who am I?"
He just goes, "Who am I?" And we were all like, "What?"
It's one of my favorite moments.
Dragon origins.
Who am I? What the hell?
So the dragon gave me the power.
you also stomp on each other's feet, I think.
Yeah, I take a little damage.
Yeah. You could, yeah.
Yeah.
And this gives you an ability that so you end up rejoining your friends in the mirror maze again, and this gives you an ability that again has not fully paid off yet, but it's an idea that we've introduced that I think is important to talk about. You see different timelines. You see your same group in different periods. Like the actions that they do are being mirrored in your timeline, but there's potentially in a way to summarize it that is simple, the Red Dragon threat and the Nightingales and their magic might be influencing multiple timelines at once.
And didn't I see that with my different
You went
familiars?
with the familiar because your familiar was functioning differently in the mirror maze because you can see through the eyes of your
I could
familiar.
see through the eyes of my familiar.
And when you did that, you saw a different scene.
I saw a different timeline where everything was like scorched and we all looked really weird and messed up.
You eventually get to the end of the mirror maze, and the brown-robed red dragon figure presents you three small basins of black goo, and tells you to look in them. And what you guys end up seeing, one of you actually sees something differently than this, but the point I want to get across here is you see actually the opposite of what you've been told. You see the green dragons being the ones that are murderous. And he says, drink from the basin to gain our power and end this. And you actually end up not doing that.
What did the other person see? The different?
There's Pomper, yeah.
It was Pomper, and Pomper, you saw the truth.
Yeah.
So you saw the red dragons as the ones that caused the chaos. You end up following a breeze that kind of gets you out of this strange dimension, and you end up in where we kind of are now in the story. You wake up and there's a fisherman there. And it's really nice outside, and this fisherman is minding.
And we're in a place that we don't know where we are.
Right.
We're just on some countryside.
And kind of a mechanical resolution of this. Trace, you level up enough that you're able to remove the curse.
I get remove curse, and I get rid of my statue murder me curse, and then I bury it.
Yeah, this is important. You bury it. So who knows what could happen with that gold statue. It's not gone. But I want to talk about this interaction with this fisherman. So this fisherman is minding his own business. And you guys kind of stir up the shit with him. What happens?
Things escalate.
It's me and Pomper, I think, at first. And what is this guy saying to us again? He's like, he's super polite, kind of.
He's like, leave me alone. Magic is evil.
But I threatened him like 5 times.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I forgot what you were saying to him.
I said, please don't leave. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't want him to tell people about us or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And you learn about this village.
Yeah.
And this village is living in fear of the Nightingales. And they're sort of being ruled over by this group of priests who call themselves the purifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And the purifiers tell them that anything related to magic is sort of this ultimate evil that is related to the Nightingales. And we have an interesting player moment here where they could have avoided this entire storyline, but they decide to go into the village.
I want to say, because, at this point in the story, me and Nikita and Yugal are kind of like buddy-buddy now in the treasure game.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, there's going to be treasure in that place kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So me and Yugal are like in on it big time.
I think I sent my raven
Yeah, you did.
and basically confirmed that there wasn't any treasure, except there was one door I couldn't see behind that seemed mystical.
And they were convinced that there
They
was
were
treasure
convinced.
behind that door.
They were like, there's got to be treasure back there. And I'm like, this village looks like garbage. Let's just not go. And they're like, we're going.
And we go.
And you, end up being very helpful to getting to this point because you use invisibility to
Only
cloak
on
them.
myself.
Only on yourself.
I put invisibility on Nicator.
Yes.
So a thing Yogala does is like he could easily put it on someone else, but he says it only works on me,
Which is a lie.
which is a lie.
Yep.
Yeah. And it turns out I could have made more than one of us invisible,
Well, we didn't know.
but we didn't know. And then I made Nicator invisible, and my bird flew with them and I was like warged out, so I was passed out looking through the eyes of my bird as they went to.
I was
try
looking
to,
out for you.
and Pomper was
weird-
watching my body.
Yeah.
And you go into the village and you see that they're sort of conducting a religious ceremony where a purifier priest is kind of chanting something over the congregation that's in front of him. And this is the perfect time. There's nobody in the church, the small church. You get in there. You eventually do make your way to the basement. But Pomper
sees people, sketch-looking individuals, going into the location that Yogala and Nicator are in.
Yes, but who are those sketchy people? Purifiers are going down into the basement.
Purifiers.
Yeah.
And so Pomper thinks he needs to do something to save.
Because I don't
his
want them to
comrades.
get caught off guard.
Right, so what do you do?
So I make a loud bang in the northernmost corner
Yeah.
away from us.
And
That freaks everyone out.
what do they think? What does the entire village think this loud boom is?
The Nightingales.
The Nightingale's
Yes.
attacking.
And they go.
Not my intention
They're
at all.
They're just.
I didn't know how loud this bang was.
Right, they're just
I thought it
totally
was
into
going to be just like a little pop. Nope.
Right.
Where everyone's like, oh, what's that over there? Oh,
Yeah.
go check that out. Not like, holy
God,
crap. yeah, the entire village.
They're an oppressed people, afraid of all magics.
And this creates a scene, and Nicator and Yogala, you end up having to fight a couple of purifiers.
Yeah.
There's some electric whip action going on.
Yep.
How does that situation resolve itself?
Trick room.
Didn't I stab that fat man?
You did
yeah,
stab
but
it.
trick-
Oh yeah, we're in the
Trick
trick room
room.
first.
It's a pretty back and forth
It's like
battle.
3
It's not-
episodes.
yeah.
It's a long time. Yeah, because I go,
And
gotcha,
then-
you fat bastard.
Yeah. Oh, my all-time favorite.
So, unfortunately, because of the chaos and the panic, there was the lore going on with the purifiers and how they sort of brainwashed these people that didn't get fully fleshed out, because they drag out a dragonborn youngling, and they decide that even though the purifiers know that this isn't the Nightingales, they have to kind of play into what they've already established. And what they've told the people, again, to kind of make the people hateful, they've told the people that Dragonborn are sort of the embodiment of magic, and they've imprisoned this young Dragonborn in case a situation arose where they needed to appease the Nightingales. So they decide to sacrifice the young Dragonborn. They bring him out, and you guys aren't able to save the kid.
The villagers keep trying to cut his head off.
Yep.
We stop one of them, and then another one picks up the axe. Eventually, they do cut its head off.
And then it works.
Yeah. It does something that the purifiers did not intend. So after they cut off the head, I believe I'm remembering this correctly. After they cut off the head of the young Dragonborn, there's a circle of blood that forms around a small group. So the executioner, a couple of people holding him down, a purifier, and a portal made from blood opens, and Nightingales step out. And these Nightingales are a little bit different than the ones that you've caught. They have a little bit more power than the foot soldiers that you encounter in the forest.
Vegeta and Nappa.
Sure,
Much
Vegeta and
more,
Nappa.
yeah.
Yeah, one of them is talking a lot, like Vegeta, and the
Yeah.
other one is more of a Nappa character that doesn't say anything.
Yeah, one of them's like, they're like scientists or something, and one of them's like, we don't have time for this. He's like really annoyed.
Yep. And in a display of power, or maybe annoyance, or maybe just wanting to be entertained, the Nightingale puts his finger over his throat and ends up killing all of the villagers that aren't in the circle.
Really crazy move.
In
Yes.
an instant.
Instant.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
crazy. Sets Pomper off.
Right.
On edge. Unhinged.
Pomper, I have a question for you and your character. Does your character feel some sort of responsibility for what transpired?
Yes, we came upon this village and now many, many people are dead. A dragonborn just got its head cut off.
Right.
feeling very emotional.
You're supposed to like close the Nosgoth portal too.
Yeah,
so you
I see
think
a
it might be the
portal,
Nosgoth
So
portal.
I think it's like another realm. Freaking out.
And you want to push one of the Nightingales into the portal.
Yeah.
The Nightingales kind of have this display of force, and the purifiers, two of the purifier priests being dead by Yogala and Nikator's hand, decide to unleash their pet on you guys. And this is actually where we are right now. They release a mind flayer dressed in Nightingale garb that you guys are still battling.
Cthulhu monster.
Cthulhu monster, and sucking out your brain, Pomper.
Are we still fighting him?
I am.
Yeah.
I have like 5
Oh.
health.
Well, meanwhile,
Wow.
me and Yogala are gone.
Yeah,
we
so
booked it.
Can
Yeah,
I
you
get
guys
in your
ran
heads
into
here a little
woods.
bit? You kind of see the situation go down. You've had a couple of successful battles, and you decide to book it. Why is that?
I have no weapon now because of that
Right.
fight with the two priests. It got like absorbed or dragged into like the ooze or whatever the fat man was becoming.
Unarmed.
So Nikator's just like, I don't got any way to help. I'm out of here. Let's get out of here. Run. So he books it. Then I think you do the same thing, but you get seen, don't you?
No, I fell. Yeah. But I had like a quick dash.
Yeah,
some
that's
sort
right.
of cool spell.
Right.
So he was running really
I
fast.
had the double
Yeah, yeah.
dash. You did
And
the
I'm
quick dash.
invisible in town. I made Pomper invisible. He's carrying Moof on his shoulders, and I said, let's get out of here. But then Pomper decides to run toward the Nightingale, but then a Mind Flayer comes out. And then I see the Mind Flayer, and it looks a lot like the weird, like, creature, my
Oh,
patron, like my
yeah.
fiendish patron, otherworldly, like, ancient one patron that's, like, maybe I've seen visions of. So I'm, like, kind of going crazy right now, like, going nuts. But, silver lining, seeing this thing is like a confirmation that these things are real. And so I'm terrified, but also maybe I didn't murder my entire family, so that's cool.
And you pee
yeah.
your pants, right?
I peed my pants, and I'm freaking out. And I think I don't know if I fought at all, or if I'm just kind of coming back to my wits.
Yeah, it
think I'm
was
still
kind of a
invisible.
shocking moment for
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
you. That is a quick and dirty patch note summary of Tabletop Escapades. You guys have been through a lot.
Yeah,
We're-
Pretty crazy.
We're getting up there in a number of episodes. If, as always with Tabletop Escapades, the details are a little bit fuzzy, and I want to. My goal for 2017 is to take better notes, to make sure inconsistencies happen less. So if there's anything we forgot or anything you would like clarification on, I read all of the comments. Please go through there, say your piece. I will always take it into consideration. One benefit of doing this that I'm really excited about is talking about it. It's like, oh man, like I'm so stoked to play D&D
Oh my god,
again.
yeah.
Well, we
Next
stopped
week.
last episode because I'm like mid battle with this thing.
Yeah.
We've gone back a couple turns.
Right, you're in danger.
The other two Nightingales left through the portal. It's
Yep.
just the Mind Flayer. Tried bashing him into the portal, but it was like hitting a brick wall.
Yep.
So I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Those guys ran into the woods, and I'm losing my mind. So
yeah, you're really
Yeah,
you might
we're-
have two character
we're-
deaths pretty
we're in a
soon.
Yeah.
weird spot.
Anyway, jump in.
Jump in.
Where can people send fan art?
Once again, people can send fan art to askeasyallies@gmail.com. I will not put up nude representations of characters, but I think
That's
pretty
canon.
much.
That's canon.
It is canon.
I mean,
There's one.
I just don't
story-
want to get our video taken down.
We'll do like an after dark special.
question.
We'll do it. Sure, we'll do an after. We'll have a fan art episode and then an after dark special.
Patrons
Ask
only.
Easy,
Only
and
on
patrons only. AskEasyAllies@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed the summary. I
Should-
hope it was somewhat easy to follow.
Should people send past artworks to this? Are
Yes,
you trying to
yes,
collect-
that's something I tried
collect
to say in the
everything?
beginning,
Yeah.
but I'll reiterate here. Anything you've created that you want to be included, please send it. If you want something new of one of the characters or whatever, please send it. Anything goes, except save your good stuff for the After Dark special. All right, everybody. Until next time.